Okay, in this video I want to take a look at the handling side of the exceptions here. And we'll specifically just kind of step through the try-catch statements and how we're going to handle some of these different exceptions and what in fact occurs. We'll look briefly as well as throwing the exception from the business logic. So I've got my little payroll application running here. I've got my good friend Anita Martini, and I've got hours. So we'll just do the usual stuff and we'll just leave hours blank and we'll go ahead and calculate. So I'm inside my calculate click at this point, and I'm just going to go ahead and step through. So I try to convert what the user input in the hours input text box. Of course, the user didn't enter anything. So the first thing it runs into that may actually make sense to it is this catch as a format exception. So a couple of things here. I've actually got this as a named exception. So the hours entry exception is the one that I'm going to call this one as a format exception for this block of code. And this is going to catch the old, well, it doesn't necessarily parse or convert as the value that we're looking for. So we go into this. I've got a detailed message that's tailored to this exception. I send the message box out. Yep, thank you very much. And then I go ahead and I select and set focus on anything that was in there, and it goes to the end try, and we're out. So we'll go ahead and enter some hours. So we'll go 23 hours. We'll say rate. We'll just take a look at rate, and it goes, yeah, okay. Oh, whoops, my forehead just fell on the keyboard. Oh, goodness me, what is going on? That's quite an incredible rate. Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and calculate anyways and see what happens. So we're inside button click again. We just run through this thing. So we go ahead and we try. We take hours. Well, this time hours is going to work. We go to our next try. We go ahead and try to get the rate from the input text box. We've just caught an exception. This time it's one of our inner exceptions inside the nested try catch, and it's actually an overflow exception. I'm calling this a rate entry exception as overflow exception. This has got a tailored message. An overflow exception has occurred. Please enter a smaller value. I send that message box out. User gets that. I select all in the text box. I set the focus. I end try. I end the outer try. I end sub. And I'm back. And I've got everything selected. So, okay. So let's say the rate is $19 an hour and it successfully calculates. So this time, what I want to take a look at is passing something through. She's worked 75 hours apparently for her $19 an hour, and that's going to be a pretty decent paycheck. The only problem is she's gone beyond the business rule. So let's take a look and calculate. I go through the set. Look at what happened. Set hours, I'm just going to pin this. Hours is 75. Well, the maximum hours is defined as 60. So I can't actually set this object's hours. I can't set to 75. It's actually outside of the acceptable range. So I'm going to throw this new argument out of range exception. I'll pass the parameter and a message. So let's step through. I'm back now on the payroll form side of things, and I've caught an object argument exception as an argument out of range. I go ahead and I pass the message that I got from the business tier. I pass that message right through with a little bit of extra added on the end. Please try again. User gets the message. Value enters outside the acceptable range, 1 to 60. Parameter name, hours worked. Then I do my little bit of testing to make sure that I set the focus and select all in the right text box. And there we go. So now we've got to fix the hours. With the next video, I want to take a little closer look at something called events and actually raising events and handling those custom events on the presentation side.